The only way that motherfuckers mobilize is towards this kind of shit, dude. We deserve Donald Trump. We really do. It's like think about the amount of time and effort that these losers spent on like such a frivolous cause that they virtually invented in their minds that these like games were becoming woke and shit. Did you see Ian Miles Chong's? Yeah. Oh my God, it's got 103,000 likes. This is an absolutely insane way to spin an interview. Boom, retweet. Hassan Piker is a bad person for weaponizing Elon's dead son against him. He is so gross. Ian Miles Chong is going to die alone, and they're not even going to know that he died until like the smell is disruptive to the neighborhood, and then they're going to find out that he died months ago, when he inevitably passes, and not a single person will mourn his loss. It won't be considered a loss at all. If anyone ever thinks about it as an afterthought, they'll go, oh, that's funny. So if I were in his shoes, I would worry about that for the rest of my days and try to make sure that that doesn't happen, to try to make sure that I have loved ones instead of LARPing as an American reactionary all the way from Malaysia. His death will be the weight of a feather, just like Mao said. Hinkle went to China to do talk on TV. My mom showed me a video. Look at this American scholar coming to talk about the flaws of the U.S. And I'm like, Mom, I've chatted to that dumbass on Discord. Yeah. It's so gross and predatory for Hasan, a grown man, to bring on a gender-confused child to own his father. So gross. Yeah, I saw all the Elon dick riders shitting on me on this. She's 20 years old, man. Remember when the quarter pounder was talking about how pedophiles should be able to hide their CP on their phones? I remember. Does anyone have that video? I kind of want to retweet this and then post that.
More of a public service announcement than anything else. At the office this week, we had a situation where one of the techs came across some pictures on a customer's computer that were of the child pornography variety. I don't really know if there's any tech way to put that, but the customer was reported and subsequently arrested, I believe, is last that I heard. And is even more serious. However, I've never known a tech in my life that ever took anything other than like videos or music off computers. But the point of this video is just to remind people that, you know, as techs, we read your emails, so to speak. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying it happens. So if you have things that you don't want computer techs to see, you know, you should delete them or rename them that you don't want techs to look at. You know, maybe change the folder name when you take it in if you can, or, you know, I'm not condoning it. I don't think it's necessarily right. I believe it's an invasion of privacy, but and that's really why, you know, I don't really do it anymore. But I certainly did back in the day, and, you know, there's not a tech in the business out there right now that doesn't do it. It happens. So if you have these sorts of things, remember that computer techs do look at other things on your computer. It's sometimes it's by accident.
He's giving OPSEC to pedophiles, dude. That's the guy. Yeah. Why are all my enemies like this, bro? Why are all my enemies like this? They're all this. This is what this is dark. This is I don't even want to say it. Never mind. I'm not going to say anything. I wouldn't be doing that around her. I wouldn't be putting my face on your thumbnails if I were you. You know what I'm saying? You pee in your basement, I come inside your wife. We are not the same. It's true. He put lipstick on it. Wanted to make me look real pretty for his wife. So when I give her little kisses, he'll know at the end of the night, you know? Speaking of my enemies, we got Grummz on the docket. All those guys are pro Ethan now, by the way. Quarter pounder is pro Ethan now. Oh, it's awesome. That's the saddest part of being a foot soldier now, I think, is like in the past, they would probably love that I interviewed Vivian and all this shit. And now they can't even like openly enjoy that because that would, for them, that would mean treachery. That would mean disloyalty. Oh my God, the defense people are trying to run for Grummz. Wait, what is this? The lefties went too far. They doxed me. They tried to get me killed with bounties and went to the dark web to nab plain word passwords and emails to try to cancel me for stuff 20 years ago, which turned out to be nothing. They put me in a position where I have no choice but to destroy their ideology. Oh man, you really didn't want that. Dude, what? Grummz literally pretended to be a 16-year-old girl online? Wait, what? He did? That's what pedo catchers do to catch people like you. Must be what got you so worked up against it. What pedo was Grummz trying to catch? Wait, I didn't know that part. I only knew the other shit. I know that he like managed a porn site. No? Oh my God. This already has 20.
One of the leading thought lords of the reactionary right wing is more of a freak than you, I, we, anyone could actually imagine. This all comes with receipts. This is all grounded in facts. This is all quite legally safe for me to talk about. This is all public record. I'm getting this out of the way quickly because I know the person I'm going to be talking about is the kind of person to scream that he's being doxxed, cancelled, and threaten lawyers. This all started from a historic data breach, which isn't actually like quite a safe way to get into this, but when I corroborated it with other sources, I found out that this was just sitting out in the open for anyone to find who knew exactly where to look for a name, a registered company, and then you start pulling on a string and pulling on another string and another string, and you
First 13 minutes, just the intro? Okay.
more about you than anyone should. My Twitter account. Every public-facing piece of information that we can find has now been deleted. While you, Mark Edward Kern, were beating your meat raw over anime children's navels, we were finding out more about you than anyone should. Draw your blade, pervert. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to what I'm calling the Guna Nomicon. Now, this isn't a magic book full of spells that you can only cast one-handed. This is a documentation of Mark Edward Kern, the first in a series of some of the worst onanists, some of the worst masturbators in the gaming sphere, who are trying to mold and manipulate gaming culture to return to a time when they were 12 years old and all they had in life to look forward to is extra cheese sticks and a woman in a bikini. It will become pretty obvious that these men just think with their erections. People forget that hating is an inherently valuable form of critical thinking. I have learned tens of thousands of facts via hating. If you are truly hating, you will take all the time you need to learn everything else. Is no one has been motivated enough to pay a data aggregator 11. The story here is that Grummz is a man who has aggressively pursued his personal interests at great cost to his family and his career. The biggest crime here is that anime babes with huge bazongas are his. These points are archived in the description. He is a former video game executive. 1992, he gets his bachelor's degree in cognitive science from the University of Rochester. He eventually gets his doctorate from Boston University School of Law with a specialization in IP. He goes on to found Qualia Games in Boston, developing a top-down 2D shooter called Crixer. This is with Blizzard's backing, and he loves the name Crixer. Crixer is eventually cancelled by Blizzard, they do pull the funding, and Qualia shuts down. There's not enough money to pay the payroll. Blizzard used this as a way to get some talent, and Mark is unfortunately the only one to take them up on that offer. He eventually moves on to a role at Blizzard. He serves as an associate producer for StarCraft, works on StarCraft 64 and Diablo 2 as a producer. He's in the credits. I'm not going to dispute the fact that he worked on these games. This is part of his career. March 27, 2001, FoxyFighter.com is purchased by Mark Kern. Ignore the country of France. That is where Gandhi SAS is located. They're a French company. But Mark Kern is the registrant. Now, Mark Kern isn't a unique name, but there's later information that basically proves that this is him. Now, what is FoxyFighter.com? To put it as simply as possible, FoxyFighter.com is sexy catfight hentai. It is a website run by a persona called Debbie Chan, but Debbie Chan is Mark. And that's underselling it. He has, over the course of 20 plus years, collected a variety of live-action catfights, drawn hentai catfights, quite a bit of like run-of-the-mill porn. However, there are multiple stories where his persona, Debbie, violently sexually abuses women. It's been scrubbed at this point. As soon as Grummz got a sniff that people were investigating this, he ripped down as much as he could. Unfortunately, we archived most of it. The email addresses that we found share passwords. When searching a Pwn database, which is a database of dumped passwords and email addresses, we found a Foxy Fighter email sharing the same password as Mark Kern's email. Fascinating, huh? We also found this one.
Pretty little girl 16? So he was like a whole ass 30-year-old man. And his username and email he was using was pretty little girl 16. 40. He was a 40-year-old man at that point. He's in his 60s now, I think. That's crazy, dude. What the Also, that is such a like 40-year-old pedophile username. It's hilarious. Is a hilariously 45-year-old pedophile username where he was just like horny and he's like, oh, what will fool people? The pretty little girl 16. Is the equivalent of typing boob into Google when you got horny. Disgusting.
I'm just leaving that out there. Moving on. July 21st, 2001 is the earliest capture of foxyfighters.com. On February 28, 2002, Debbie wins second place in the third Seeking Femfights story competition, so he is actively making this stuff. And on March 24, 2003, we get RussianCatfights.com. This is another site owned by Mark. He confirms it on a Twitter post. March 22nd, 2004, we get an archive of Latina catfights.
Bro, this guy wanted DEI catfights? What the f*** is going on? He doesn't want video game DEI, but he loves it when DEI is happening in catfights? Is that what it is? Am I getting this correct? He wants a Gap ad of different kinds of catfights from all around the planet. The hell's going on? Also, I still don't fully understand what catfights are, and at this point, I'm a little too scared to Google it, so I'm just not going to do that. I assume it's like some kind of hentai furry shit, right? Just say yes or no. Am I like around? Am I close? It's wrestling. It's girls fighting. It's women fight. It's women wrestling. Okay, all right.
This is also owned by Mark. June 28, 2004, access to Foxy Fighter goes for about $10 a month. Posts are stories and drawn artwork. November 13, 2004, World of Warcraft releases. This is effectively the pinnacle of Mark's career. He's credited as team lead. He says he works on drafting the TOS in ULA and does licensing with China. He leaves Blizzard shortly afterwards. He says he's going to go and be with some family, so I don't blame him. Like, that was a very hard process, even if he was apparently a bit of a shithead. Look, no one's spoken about him in a good light at Blizzard, really, like not in a way that I think a team lead should in this role. Very shortly afterwards, him and a few other Blizzard employees found Red 5 Studios. So he obviously had a couple of friends who wanted to work with him, but he's not really mentioned in a lot of these retrospective books. It's real fascinating. June 15th, 2005, RussianCatfights.com is closed due to changes in US law.
No! The woke came after him. What? Wokeness came after him.
And on August 18th, 2005, LatinaCatfights.com is closed to the same changes. So I don't want to point out that this is anything egregiously sinister. This was a change that was required in the porn industry to have verified records of the performers. Before this law, those records were not kept. Blizzard in 2008 had some problems. People were stealing breast milk from the fridge. This is attributed to Mark. People call him the breast milk bandit. He wasn't working there at the time, and he's not the breast milk bandit. It's funny to think he is. Please keep doing it. It's very funny. But we found dozens of breast milk photos on foxyfighter.com, so smoke this fire, huh, Mark?
What the So when that shit came out, he probably was like, damn, someone else was also stealing breast milk?
October 17th, 2008, as forum admin on freecatfights.com, Debbie recommends a Japanese breast milking series to another forum member and reveals that he owned latinacatfights.com. Now, you might notice that this is forum admin with a Batman avatar. This was scrubbed about a day ago. But this is him. April 23rd, 2009, Red 5 lays off 30 people. Reports of a studio purchase emerge. March 10th, 2010, that studio purchase comes through. A company called The Nine announces acquisition of Red 5 Studios, and Grummz becomes CEO. May 19th, 2010, Grummz buys a Leica S2 and a 70mm lens from OC Camera. Now, I bring this up because we match metadata from some of the live action photos on Foxy Fighter to this exact camera and lens types that we know he owns. September 3rd, 2010, Red...
So this dude was just like... So, I mean, look, I don't have any issues with pornography. I don't fully know what this catfight stuff is, and it seems maybe a little unethical, but like if he was just like a pornographer and he's like he's contributing to the making of sex work, I don't really like, you know, as long as it's like done between consenting adults, like I don't really have that big of an issue with it. It's just kind of, so far everything here is like he's just a weird dude with a with an odd fetish.
Red 5 announces Firefall at PAX. September 20th, 2011, he goes and advertises foxyfighter.com and freecatfights.com on r/comics, which probably not the best place to do it, but doesn't even get a single piece of engagement.
Wait, and he says, I'm a girl who loves a throwdown of any kind between two hot and sexy women, writer, artist, and web mistress. I put together two great sites for my passion, foxyfighter.com and freecatfights.com, which have grown to be the biggest sites for female wrestling on the web. On Foxy Fighter, I write and hire artists to help me create the hottest catfight and female wrestling and MMA stories for the web. We also have full catfight comics. What the? He's using company funds to finance his porn business?
Engagement, that's kind of sad. Come on, man, you're better posted than this. Even I can admit that, but dog. March 7th, 2011, he asks for models to star in fighting videos, so he's starting to move into the live action space at this point. And March 21st, 2011, model Megan Renee posts, I adore you, Mark, on his Model Mayhem profile. And that's his Model Mayhem profile, Studio Foxy Fighter. You see that little boxing glove image up the top right next to his profile? That one is an exact match to a camera lens I know he owns and a camera that he owns. Just a thought. October 5th, 2011, an IGN interview mentions Firefall will release soon. And he goes on to film a video of Randy Moore and Kimberly Jane. In January 18th, 2012, Red 5 skips E3 to protest SOPA. Mark is really big on hating SOPA, and he skips it and donates 50 grand, which was their E3 fund, to found the League for Gamers instead. League for Gamers is ostensibly a non-profit founded by Mark Kern. They style themselves as an advocacy group for video games, consumer-centric versus industry-focused. They represent the gamer. Red 5 paid this charity $50,000. He wired himself 50 grand from his slowly failing game studio, which I'm guessing is all that was left in the couch cushions at this point. Never logged the transaction with the state of California. This should be logged. It's not in the logs where we're checking. We can see other logs, but it's not there. He then waits for California to dissolve the non-profit, then started a for-profit Delaware Corp with the same name. That's bad. Why was this allowed? Is this all above board tax-wise? I'm sure the California AG would love to know about this and the rest of your tax dodges. June 6, 2012, Grummz offers his opinion on the Leica S2 and Nikon D3S, mentions using them for the last 2 years. This is, again, just here as an aside, he used these cameras and 100% owned them. They are a match for Foxy Fighter's content in the unscrubbed metadata. July 4th, 2013, you remember the Firefall bus? Well, that's shown at Anime Expo LA. July 9th, 2013, Firefall finally enters open beta. They are rapidly running out of money though, that's going to become obvious. December 19th, 2013, he gets removed as CEO. They vote him out. July 29th, 2014, Firefall finally releases. September 22nd, 2014, Mark is, after his next venture, he has made MEK Entertainment, Mark Edward Kern Entertainment. It is in Aliso Viejo, which is where everything that he does is based. They are an indie game company looking to leverage the blockchain, maybe, 10 years too early for that hype, but I respect the forward-facing vision. MEKentertainment.com launches at this point. They are registered to MEK Entertainment Inc. However, looking at those business entries, it looks like he never actually registered it as a company called MEK Entertainment. The game from the seed funding never really materializes. He gets ousted from MEK Entertainment and they go on to make a game called Voxel Noughts, but Mark never really does anything with his money, and we'll get to some allegations about that money later on. June 17th, 2015, Grummz announces that he's joining Gamergate. He's mad. He's always mad. He's mad and he's horny. July 7th, 2015, DB Chan LLC is registered. Mark Kern's mother is the registered CEO. And imagine having your mother being the CEO of your porn company. Come on, man. Have some pride. August 8th, 2015, MEK Entertainment changes to Retro Ronin Inc., which is a site about Voxel Noughts. No Mark. Mark is no longer working for Retro Ronin. And on September 14th, 2015, Crixa Labs LLC is registered. This is the same address as DB Chan LLC. Interesting. My question here is why? It seems legally sketchy to register two LLCs under your 80-year-old mom's name. My working theory is that this is...
Skip this? Wait, why? This is disgusting, man. Wait, why is this disgusting? I mean, or why... He is disgusting, but like, why is this video disgusting? Is this Grummz? Is Grummz in the chat? Bunny Kai 2 on an alt? No, it's not. Don't skip my video, says MLYP.
Is a tax shelter, and it allows him to report that he earns 0 or less than the personal income required to be taxable by law, and then he can report any additional earnings to his LLCs. He can then write taxes down by saying his revenue did not exceed his annual...
This is some brainwash shit about someone that does not matter, in my opinion. I really wish that was the case. The second part of that statement. Like, I really wish that this was like a totally irrelevant person, because in a normal situation, you're right. Like, why the should anybody care about like a 60-year-old dickhead? But remember, the reason why Elon was calling me a chicken shit R word or a fraudulent person or whatever is because Elon loves this guy. The richest man on earth loves this dude. Also, the largest political content creator on this platform, Asmongold, a right-wing content creator, also loves this person and literally gets his notes on like what kind of outrage to farm from this person. So I understand why you're like, you know, why the should like this 60-year-old gooner matter? I get it. In a normal world, in a normal universe, totally appropriate question.
Annual expenses.
We unfortunately don't live in a normal universe now.
He can say his business spent more than they earned, not pay a dime on the money. This is classic tax fraud. Again, California AG would love to have this information. October 19th, 2015, Debbie floats the idea of creating an online catfight game, likely thing for Mark to do. November 2nd, 2015, the Patreon for Foxy Fighters is launched. It maxes out at $57 a month, and it's eventually paused in 2020. November 16th, 2015, Cameroon Wildebeest is a prolific artist working in the catfight scene. They passed away. His hard drive is too damaged to recover, and a terabyte of catfight art is lost forever. November 20th, 2015, Mark's wife disappears from social media as far as we can tell at this point. Until then, she'd been quite a big cheerleader for him in the online space. So, just kind of putting it in here as a marker, really. December 9th, 2015, he leaves Gamergate after being kind of too transphobic, and he does drop a couple of...
Wait, what the Grummz leaves Gamergate after being too transphobic for some Gamersgaters? Gamersgate's internal LGBT self-esteem team managed to drive Mark Kern out tonight. Good going. Gamergate's biggest name dev supporter because you were concerned about PR and feels of some pedophile supporters. Good call. What? Dude, we don't deserve socialism. We don't. The only way that mobilize is towards this kind of shit, dude. We don't deserve it. We deserve Donald Trump. We really do. It's like think about the amount of time and effort that these losers spent on like such a frivolous cause that they virtually invented in their minds, that these like games were becoming woke and shit. Like
F slurs, so good job. No, sorry, he doesn't drop the F slurs. People on Kotaku in Action do, but they're mad that look, these people are all sad and need jobs. December 17th, 2015, Mark does interview to promote his free speech organization. He's still trying to keep League of Gamers going at this point, and Voxelnaught's Twitter comes out and alleges that Mark stole money from Voxelnaught. So that's
look how
where
much
that money
work
went
they
from
put
that
into with you. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
Jan 16th, 2016 on freecatfights.com, they've been filming fights with a Red Dragon camera. Now that's interesting. Are these the same Red Dragon cameras that Red 5 had in their studio? I raised this earlier in the video. They had 3 Red Dragon cameras in their possession worth $50,000 each. That's the whole rig. That's not just the brain. The brain's about 20. We have evidence that Mark was in possession of Red accessories at his personal lockup in California after he had left Red 5. Are they the cameras? Did he abscond with them, or did he purchase them with some of his pilfered MEK Entertainment money? I'm not alleging anything specific here. I am asking questions. What is fascinating is that he had access to the same cameras that Red did after he left Red 5. Remember that tax fraud discussion? It's at this point that Mark is hit with a lien for $265,133.88 for unpaid tax from the years 2011, 2012, and 2013. Excuse me for messing up the 2013 to 2015 on this slide. I'm not going to fix it. May 2nd, 2016, Debbie Chan posts on Twitter looking for models, promises good conditions and a full makeup and hair crew. May 25th, 2016, Kern goes to the Firefall subreddit telling people they should kill the game so that he can buy back the IP for cheap, which is kind of sad to me. It's still an active game at this point, but you're actively trying to kill it so you can buy and get it back because you're mad you got ousted. He can't let it go, can he? May 29th, 2016, he delivers a petition to restore vanilla World of Warcraft to Blizzard. This is kind of his other big claim to fame in modern day. And June 11th, 2016, the legal compliance page for foxyfighter.com lists the mailing address for DBChan LLC as the same address that Crixer Labs is registered to. I've censored it here, but that is fascinating. You can't deny that DBChan Foxy Fighters, that's Mark. It is Mark. June 27th, 2016, Make Ember, a spiritual successor to Firefall, is posted on change.org by Mark. That does hit 4,700 supporters. So, let's make Ember.
He is a serial change.org petitioner. That we do know. Some of his famous hits are make the video game titties larger, things like that. Or what was his Stellar Blade? Who could forget his Stellar Blade petition? He loves those things, dude.
He has camera equipment. He posts camera equipment to Flickr. Lenses here are a match to the photos shot for Foxy Fighters. And we see the red accessories I mentioned earlier. This is all in the same location, all shot on the same iPhone. Just the thought. August 29th, 2016, Ember, massive planetary wargame Indiegogo campaign is launched. $5,000 goal, raises 23 grand. September 14th, 2016, Ember Milestone 2 campaign is funded on Indiegogo. November 29th, 2016, puts his first adult video on clips for sale. This is his account and it's linked on the Foxy Fighters site. This is him. This is what he is selling. Note, an anonymous user eventually replies, is this a Mark Kern product? Deplorable. I want to know who this person was. What did they know? This is in 2017. Someone knew about this 8 years ago? How did they know? Anyway, July 3rd, 2017, MBK Entertainment is formally closed, and July 5th, Ember is funded for 170 grand. So that's 114,000 between both Indiegogo and PayPal donations. That's over 20k goal. Grummz promises a playable mock-up in 6 months. Kickstarter for a full game a month or two after that. Anyway, September 13th, 2017, Mark's mum issues a certificate of cancellation for DBJan LLC. So, see you, DBJan. Thanks for your service, Mark's mum. And on July 24th, 2018, Ember begins selling upgrades to M3 backers as a limited time offer until the Kickstarter later this year. May 20th, 2018, a child support motion is filed by the state of California. Mark and his wife had been separated for a while. He had referred to her as his ex-wife in the Ember Discord, but they had reconciled at this point, according to another Twitter post from him. But this is obvious proof that they did separate at one point. And do you think the reason she left is because she found out about the adult entertainment gig, or maybe she found out about the tax fraud? Just a question. The timing makes sense with her leaving, him trying to go all in on the DBChan LLC. Much to think about. So
yeah, it's kind of crazy to think about, but like that dude has a child. Yeah, he had a wife and also a child. Like that's crazy, dude. Go take care of your family. Like the f are you doing? God damn. Ay, ay, ay. Many such cases.
March 1st, 2019, Debbie resurfaces. Like, this is when this was archived, but obviously the post was on January 3rd, 2019. They come back on freecatfights.com and ask if there's a demand for Foxy Fighters to come back.
He was on a stream saying he has to explain this to them now. Dude, what do you mean? Your output, even before this, was gross. What he finds to be, what he personally considers content that he's proud of, his like normal output is gross, is disgusting. Like, how do you explain anything that you do that you have to your children, where you're like, hey, I did a change.org petition because I couldn't masturbate hard enough to the Korean titty game. Like that's an insane thing to have to explain to your 30-year-old children. Okay? Call CPS? No, he's like 60, Chad. His kids are probably like my age, dude. What are you talking about? Like
7th of March, 2019. Well, Mark admits that his original 3D artist left and he's had to teach himself how to do 3D modeling and build the main character of Ember. He's never made a game this way before, so he's trying to do it all without any outside investors. And at this point, you should have realized it's a scam, team. So no one is a full-time employee on Ember. This is a solo project. An MMO is a solo project for him. And come on, team. Anyway, 28th of June, 2019, Ember.
I'm not gonna lie, maybe I missed something, but I might have missed something, but like so far it's just like, yeah, he ran. I mean, the gross part is that he was potentially into like presenting himself as a child, like gross, and also maybe even illegal. I don't know. Besides I think you skipped a lot of the tax fraud stuff. No, I mean the tax fraud is the tax fraud, you know? Come on, guys. My expectation from a guy who's that big of a piece of shit is not tax fraud. Like I'm not saying this isn't like I'm not saying this doesn't present a broader picture that he is like a creepy dude, but y'all are funny if you think that like this dude is. I mean, this is just part one. Maybe there's a part two to it that's like worse overall. But he's just, yeah, it's who he is that makes this worse overall. But the worst, most damning, grossest shit is like him presenting himself as like at times a lesbian woman online, and then at other times as a child potentially.
All is achieved. Gamers. Finally. 20th of August 2019, Foxy Fighter blog is offline. The DNS update needs to be required. Like, that's pretty simple, but this takes him a while. On the 5th of February 2021, Foxy Fighter is back online. Well done.
Finally!
Grummz is kind of wanging around at this point. He claims that he's not working on the game due to family reasons, but he's still just kind of shitposting on Twitter. And on 2nd of August 2021, Debbie releases a story called The Date. So while he's meant to be working on his crowdfunded game, he's actually just written adult literature on the crowdfunder's dime, and this is where that like violent sexual fantasy stuff comes in. 1st of December 2021, the Foxy Fighter URL lapses, a domain squatter grabs it for a hot minute. And 2022-2023, Grummz continues to radicalize himself on Twitter.com. The rate of his posting rapidly increases as he tries to make himself one of the big culture warriors, and he's deleted a lot of that stuff now. A lot of his tweets aren't in existence back past 2023, but his rate of tweeting has done nothing but increase even since then. 30th of Jan 2024, Debbie makes her last login on freecatfights.com. God bless. Foxy Fighter URL, still squatted. 26th of March 2024, Grummz tweets, bring back Rumble Roses. This is relevant because that's also Debbie's favorite game. 25th of March 2025, we are made aware of the Foxy Fighters connection, and at this point, archival attempts begin. Twitter user Juniper makes contact with Grummz for an interview request. He says yes. He is drunk at the time. He is drunk posting through it because he's mad that he got ratioed by Assassin's Creed. And when he wakes up the next day, Grummz blocks the hosts of Western Kabuki and begins to delete his past history as Foxy Fighting and Debbie Chan. It's Joba. Never been more Joba. So now what? This wasn't hard to find. We have archived all of it, so I'm going to be very careful with how I phrase the next things. The rest of it's all just been questions and statements of fact. Most of the previous portion, pure fact record. Mark Kern is the owner of Foxy Fighters and has a pattern of consistently ignoring his day job to focus on it. He has a history of mismanaging money. He has potentially committed tax fraud that the California AG will be very interested in. He has consistently lied about progress on his games and has failed to make anything commercially successful since he was a team lead at Blizzard. It is my opinion that these games at Blizzard succeeded despite him rather than because of him.
Yeah.
He does not know how to code, he does not know how to texture models, his animations are based on 2 keyframes with 3 other frames of animation. He will always have an excuse for his failure after failure after failure. This man is sad. If you keep funding him or supporting him, you are willingly throwing your weight behind someone who has deceived and defrauded thousands of people while trying to position himself as a savior of gaming. There are people in the Ember Discord who have said they are afraid they are going to die before the game comes out. This is all for the purposes of lining his pocket and making some really bad pornographic material. And I feel sad for the guys that are about to die. They are just desperate to play this game. They want to play something that reminds them of when life was better, and he just ignores them. His only goal right now is to get engagement from Elon Musk. He is deep-throating that man so hard that his throat is going to recognize the veins.
Jesus.
That's his life now. He's not making a game. He keeps saying a Kickstarter is coming, this is a great year for Ember. It's not. He does not know how to make a game. His one hope is that Daddy Elon notices him and throws a few $1 million at him to hire people who actually know how to make a game. This man is a failed dev, a failed pornographer, a failed husband with a fragile mind, a fragile ego, and a fragile life.
Okay, all that's facts. It's true.
That's the timeline. And I'm not going to make value judgments over the rest of it. That's for you to decide. I've laid out the facts as I see them. It is my opinion, and I'm going to crouch this as being my opinion. Mark Kern is a narcissistic loser who has a publicly stated fetish for lolicon navels and a hidden fetish for women catfighting. He has the ear, at least occasionally, of the richest and most powerful man in the world. What he gets out of this video is what he's going to get. People are going to know everything they need to know about him, and they can make decisions from there. Mark runs targeted harassment campaigns against devs that he deems as woke.
It's true.
And he buys his own likes on X.com when he gets ratioed by Assassin's Creed's community manager. He has pilfered and absconded with at least $1.6 million of funding for not 1, but 2 failed games, and we have ample evidence that he's also absconded with extremely expensive video equipment to shoot his adult video side hustles. He is nothing if not a sad, lonely man who is desperate to leave a mark, any mark on the world, because he knows his career as a game dev is worth less than a cold turd on a hot dog bun. You now know everything about him. You know his business dealings, his motivations for hustling people out of $1.6 million. He is, in my opinion, a pervert of the highest order who has taken advantage of the goodwill of his fans, taken advantage of their bubbling rage, and he has taken advantage of his own family. And I think more people should know and understand this.
It's true. Soon. Hasan Reactions is one of the best ones in the React channel.